Hey gang, Scott Davenport here, and in today's video I'm going to share with you my thoughts about this bag here. This is the PhotoCross 13 backpack put out by ThinkTank. They recently announced the bag and I asked them if they could send me a loaner unit so I could check it out and share thoughts with you all. So they did, and I've been using it, and that's what we're going to do in today's video. I want to make a special thanks to my Patreon members for sharing their thoughts about what types of things are important in bags to them. That really helped with the finishing touches on this video. So let's get into it. So as I mentioned, this is the PhotoCross 13 backpack. Now they have a sling bag as well, but this is a backpack, so traditional backpack style. And that really kind of brings up like an overall point to looking at a camera bag. What are your needs for the bag? What's the mission of the bag? And for me, I like a backpack style bag because it gives me even distribution of weight. A sling bag or a messenger bag tends to throw me off balance, or after several hours, your back starts to hurt a little bit. So I like a backpack style bag. Now the other thing too is, for me, the mission for this bag is day trips. If I'm out traveling and I'm not doing like a full-on all my landscape gear is ready to, go, heavy tripod, all that stuff. I've got different bags for that. This is for being able to be pretty nimble, have enough space for I'll call it a walk-around camera, so something with a versatile lens, space for an additional lens, and in my case also having space for something to do video. So that's my use case for it. So with those thoughts in mind, I want to talk about several things about the bag. Just what is its capacity, how configurable it is, comfort, durability, and ultimately how well did it perform while I was using it. Well, let's start with capacity. How much can the thing hold? What can I carry in it? Generally, how do I use the bag? So this is a side access bag. So there's some pouches in the front for ancillary stuff, but all your main gear is in one of these side access panels. Bags on its side like this, you're going to open up the panel and access all your gear. And for my case, I'm able to carry one of my full body cameras, a long lens. I have space for a vlogging camera with a lens mounted, and then areas for, I'll just call it other stuff. And this is in addition to the standard things, camera batteries and cleaning cloths and memory cards. There's ample pouches for those types of things. But I'm talking like a platypod with a small ball head. So I was able to fit that in the bag. For me, microphone, the thing I'm wearing here, plus the vlogging camera, other stuff, like if you needed to bring a pocket rocket or something like that to do a quick cleaning of your sensor out in the field. There's enough space to do all of that. Like any bag, and especially something where it's compact like this. This is a very slim form factor that you're making some choices. In my case, I chose to put in a full frame camera, long lens, vlogging camera, and then leave like a chamber open for other stuff. There's plenty of configurability into the bag, so there are lots of different dividers. You can configure them in a variety of ways. I would not describe the bag as something you would quickly reconfigure. It's like any camera bag you've probably owned where you've got those Velcro panels inside. Those take a little bit of time to get in the right place. So you spend a little bit of time with the bag, thinking about the mission for the bag, get it set up. And then once I was done with that, accessing everything was easy and fine. And so the bag, for its size, is capable of carrying quite a bit of gear. Now, there is one aspect of the bag I wasn't as thrilled with, and that's for the tripod. They do have, you slide the tripod in on the side using this, what would normally have like a water pouch or something like in it, and they give you the strap so that you can mount that there. For me, that's side carrying a tripod. It goes against the need for I want it for that backpack. It starts to throw off my balance. And I have other bags from ThinkTank and Mindshift that have a small flap that opens up in the front where you could put the tripod, one leg in this little kind of pocket, and then do a strap across here so it's carrying that tripod in the center. I think I'd prefer that on this type of bag, especially for a backpack style bag. You could also attach the tripod straps to the front of the bag and then take your tripod, two legs, slide it on in there, and then just let that hang on the strap. And so it is centered on your back. That does mean your tripod may hang low beneath the bag, and so depending on the tripod you had, that may or may not be comfortable. It also makes it a little more problematic for accessing this pouch. You probably have to take the tripod off to do that. Not so much the gear, just the back flap pouch. And for putting the bag down on the ground, you know, this does change the dynamic of what's already a tapered bag. You know, just putting the bag down because of its shape and its form factor and its side access design. But sometimes you have to balance things right as you're putting it down so the bag doesn't tip over. So I guess having a tripod on in general is going to be a bit of a challenge for that. You know, nothing insurmountable, but these are kind of the trade-offs that you have when you're taking a smaller bag that is really designed for more nimble work, but then putting, in this case, a relatively sizable tripod on it. Let's talk about build quality for a bit. So I have a certain expectation when I get a ThinkTank or a Mindshift bag. I've owned several of them. I still own 2 of them, and this bag is no exception. It's built very, very well. It's sturdy, it's solid materials. You know, dust and things you're able to brush off easily. It's scuff resistant, so you're putting it down on, you know, concrete on the city street or, you know, brickwork or so forth. You know, you're not seeing any of the scratches show up on the bottom. You just have a little bit of a, you know, wet cloth to wipe off any kind of dust, and you're good. Stitching is really strong, and I mean, I really pulled on the stitching to see how well it was going to hold. Because you fill a bag full of gear and you're going to have, you know, 10, 15 pounds. You're going to grab it by this handle. You're going to pick up one of the backpack straps and sling it up over your back. You don't want one of those straps to start breaking. And so this is really a really well built bag. The zippers are strong. Everything about the build quality is excellent. And I guess a bonus is, you know, weather resistant. So it's got a typical you know, what I expect from Mindshift. It's a weather resistant, water resistant material, and they do give you a rain cover. It comes with the bag too, so if you do have to go out for a trek in the rain, you've got the rain cover built in with it. Now, that rain cover is not going to do well if you have a tripod on the side. It's going to cover like the shell of the bag, but otherwise, you know, the rain cover piece, it's a really nice bonus add that you get with the bag. So what about comfort of the bag? And no shock here, it's very, very good. That's what I expect from ThinkTank. Their shoulder straps are very, very well padded, nice and thick, and they're wide, right? So they sit on the shoulders very nicely, spreading out the weight distribution. And, you know, a guy like me, my shoulders tend to slope quite a bit, and other bags I've had do not sit very well. I did not have that problem with this bag. The straps are quite configurable. You can adjust the length however you'd like, so the bag can sit higher or lower on your back as you need. There's also a waistband that's included, and I found it to be unnecessary. Now, you're not loading this bag with, you know, 40 pounds of gear, and so having that extra waistband to help, you know, balance and distribute weight, I just didn't think it was necessary. So I removed it from the bag when I used it, but it is there if you like that kind of waistband or end up wanting to clip something else along you know, a waist belt. You've got that option. I think the only problem I have with the comfort of the bag is when you're going to access the gear, one of the options that is described with the bag is you take it off your back and you rotate it to its side, right? You grab this handle here, and this is where you access your gear. Well, saying, you know, take this strap and put it over your neck and wear the bag like a necklace. And that is uncomfortable. You know, this part of the strap, which is this thin part here, that ends up being on your neck, and with even, you know, 7 to 10 pounds, that's really a small surface area to put all that weight on. So I did not find that to be very comfortable. I prefer to use, you know, like, you know, you find something to prop one knee up on, open the bag that way, or just put the bag on the ground to access your gear. It's good to know that you can do that, you know, sling it over your neck in a pinch if you're in a place where you can't put the bag on the ground. You know, for my style of shooting, if I'm doing my landscape shoots at the ocean, sometimes I'm standing in the ocean. I probably wouldn't be doing that with this bag. That's not my mission for this type of bag, but it's good to know that you can do it. I would not do it very long, though. It would be to grab a couple of photos and then move on to a different location or so forth. So that part of the bag comfort, I did not find that comfortable. But for everything else, wearing it, working with it, taking it on and off, I had no problems at all. So overall, what are the key takeaways for the PhotoCross 13? On the plus side, excellent construction. It's well built, it's strong, it's sturdy, it's going to last a long time. Comfort is very good. Wearing it for a long time, no problems. If I had to pick a bone with comfort, it's that whole necklace idea with accessing the gear. Can do it for a short period of time, but otherwise, no, that's not going to fly. I might like to see these straps here, these handles where you pick the bag up like this or like this, have a little bit of padding, but honestly, you're not carrying the bag like this very long, so that's me nitpicking. The value, I think, is very good as well. It's around $150 for the bag, and for what it carries and its nice slim form factor, I think it's a really good value for your dollar. But all in all, yeah, I give the bag a thumbs up, and I really want to thank ThinkTank for letting me try out the bag. And I think I'm going to take a look at that 15-inch version of it and see about a little bit of a different config, where if I want to carry my 2 full frame bodies and have lenses mounted on it for, you know, I guess a little more of a serious day trip or something like that, that might be the bag for me. But hopefully this gives you a good idea of what the PhotoCross 13 is all about. If you got questions about it, something I didn't cover in the video, drop them in the comments below. I'd be happy to answer anything that I can for you. And until next time, my name's Scott Davenport. Happy shooting.